Welcome back to Skill Up Stand channel. Now we'll discuss PowerShell Web Access. And this PowerShell Web Access is a very powerful tool. The reason I say that, okay, so the environment can be managed from anywhere in the internet. You can manage the environment from your home or from office location or from anywhere in the internet. So we just need to have network connection that can connect you to this particular PowerShell Web Access gateway machine. And once after you connect to this gateway machine, you can do any activities in your corporate environment, like a scheduled task or running some script or doing some management and maintenance activity. Anything can be done across the board if you have access to the PowerShell Web Access gateway. And even though it is accessible from the internet, this particular gateway device will generally be created, deployed, and managed from within the perimeter network. So when I say perimeter network, it will be, this machine will be part of your demilitarized zone network, the DMZ zone. Okay, so this machine, the gateway machine, will be sitting outside of your firewall, but then the access from the PowerShell Web Access to your backend systems will happen only through the firewall device. So no other machines from the internet can be able to log in using PowerShell and run scripts. So only the machine, the gateway machine, will be able to access your internal corporate network using this firewall. So this is very secure and safe as well. This particular feature got introduced in Windows 2012 operating system. And from there on, so there are multiple enhancements and there are a lot of commandlets that has got added. So now in this particular demo, we'll go and see how to install the Windows feature, which is Windows PowerShell Web Access feature, and also install any additional management tools that is possible. And we'll also configure the web application with a self-signed certificate so that we can access it securely from the internet. And the last portion, we'll also discuss how to configure authorization to allow specific users, computers, and specific commands. So these are the three things that we are going to see in demo. So the biggest advantage of PowerShell Web Access is that you can access it from anywhere, anytime, from any device in the internet. So if you want to reboot a system, or if you want to take a memory dump of your system, or if you want to execute any script, it is very, very straightforward and very powerful. Okay, and I'll just show you the step-by-step instructions that is listed here. So I'll log into one of my server and assume this server is in my DMZ network. I can just directly go to my PowerShell or command prompt, and I can directly install the Windows feature called Windows PowerShell Web Access. So there are two options on how to get this installed. The number one option is the GUI option. You can go to add or remove, add roles or features screen, and under your features section, so on the left you can see that we are in the feature section, right? If you scroll down, you can start seeing the Windows PowerShell Web Access under the Windows PowerShell. So if you look at here, you have the Microsoft Windows PowerShell Web Access. So this web access will act as a gateway. It'll act as a web gateway. The reason they call it as web gateway, you will be able to log into this web access machine by using the web browser. Okay, and also it installs additional utilities like the management console, and then the additional application development features that is required as part of your installation. So in general, if you want to just install the Windows PowerShell Web Access, it doesn't need any reboot. But then if you are adding any additional management features or any additional tool sets, for example, if you're adding IIS for enhanced security and so on, then you might have to reboot it. So the easiest option is to go and do it graphically on the screen, or else just go to the PowerShell here, and you can install the PowerShell Web Access using the PowerShell prompt here. So go and install the Windows feature. The Windows feature name is Windows PowerShell Web Access. And you can also include the management tools, okay, but I don't want to do that for now. And if you are installing it, if you want to install it, you can install it. Okay, I'm just installing only the PowerShell Web Access tool without the additional management tools that are there. Okay, it will take a couple of seconds to get it installed. And once after you install it, you can go and verify whether the commandlets are available which are related to PowerShell Web Access. So while this is getting installed, I'll open up a new prompt and then just try to run a help command here, stating what are the commands that we have which has got PowerShell Web Access in the system. Okay, it is going and searching for help for PowerShell Web Access. So if it is not having any local command line help, it will try and fetch that from the internet. Okay, let's see. So for now, it's still trying. Okay, so you can either use help or get help command. Okay, there is nothing in this particular session now. The reason there is nothing because like the PowerShell Web Access is just getting installed. So we'll try the same command once after the installation is complete, and we'll see like what is the result that we are getting. Okay, you can either use help space the PowerShell Web Access, or also you can use the standard PowerShell format of verb-noun. Like there is get is an action -help. You are looking for some help, and you are looking for PowerShell Web Access related commandlets. So both the commands are same. Okay, it is asking me whether the PowerShell there are some new modules that has got installed, and it is asking me whether the update help commandlet has to get updated. I can say yes. Okay, see, that's the reason. So here it has got installed now. Now it is downloading all the installation help content for the PowerShell Web Access. Okay, let's see. Once after the update help is getting updated. Okay, so once after I do this, I'm going to install the self-signed certificate. Okay, either if you want to have a secure connection, that is HTTPS connection from the internet, you should definitely have a certificate. So there are 2 or 3 options on how to get a self-signed certificate. The number one option is you can go and procure it from the internet, or you can also create a self-signed certificate in your Windows operating using the certificate manager, or else you can use a PowerShell command to create a test certificate that can be used for around 180 days. But then in production environment, we generally go and procure it, or we just go and have a certificate, self-signed certificate created using the certificate manager console. But here I'm just going to use a test certificate just for the practice here. And this can be used for 6 months actually. And before that 6 months, you have to go and get an actual self-signed certificate. Okay, now you can see that it has added 6 different commandlets. Okay, so 4 of them are commandlet and 2 of them are function. So we'll discuss what is the difference between commandlet and function in a different session. But then you can see that after installing the PowerShell Web Access, there are 6 different additional categories has been added. So 4 of them are commandlet and 2 functions has got added. So now I'll install the PowerShell Web Access application to use the test certificate. And if you have not done this, it will by default use HTTP. Now after enabling the HTTP, self-signed certificate, you will be able to access the /PowerShell Web Access path using HTTPS. So now the next step is so what we have done, we have just installed the PowerShell Web Access using this command. Number 1 step. Number 2 step, I've just updated the help file to make sure that I have all the necessary commandlets. The third step, I've just configured the certificate for my web application. So next step is to go and authorize the connection. So there are 3 different things that I can do. Okay, so number 1 thing, when I go and authorize, I can only authorize a specific set of computers to access my PowerShell Web Access, or else I can allow only set of users to do connections, or I can just allow only specific commands to be executed. So there are 3 options. Okay, computer, user, and a specific set of configurations or commandlets to be run on my machine. So now just for this demo purpose, I'll show you how to do that. So add -ps, so you can just reference this command line. I think it will work if I just type tab. Okay, so IntelliSense is there. It will automatically fill in if I click tab button here. So it has automatically filled in. Now I just want to allow some specific configuration. So here, if I want to specifically allow some computers or some users or whatever, I can just say hyphen question mark or hyphen help, and you can see there are three options. Number one option, you can go and authorize specific computers or specific users or specific configuration. So there are three options that I can see here. So if you look at the options closely, the first option is it is asking me which computers to allow or which users to allow or specific configuration commands to be allowed. So this is specifically to authorize who can access and who cannot access. Now what I'm going to do is I'll just say I want to allow all the computers, space, all the users and all the configuration. See, this command has allowed all the users, asterisk will allow all the users and all the destination and all the configuration. If I want to specifically allow a range of IP address or a range of users or a group of users or a specific configuration, I can limit using the authorization rule. So now once after I have done this, I can just go and quickly check if there is some new additional services that has been added as part of my installation of PowerShell Web Access. Okay, this is very, very powerful. The reason I say that you will be able to access this particular system only from, only from this machine, you will be able to access the intra machines. Okay, so no other machines will be allowed to access your uh, corporate systems. Okay, so let me just go and first update it, or let me try and connect it. So here I can directly go open up the Chrome browser. Okay, so here I'll just say HTTPS. Since I've got certificate, I can just check my IP address. So you can access it from anywhere from the internet if you have the public IP. Okay, so 10.0.0.4/PSWA. If the machine has got public IP, you can also try and access it. See, you can, it is allowing us. But then if you have to if you are accessing it from outside, the firewall has to allow the specific port number. Okay, so stan password and then the computer name. So since I'm connecting from here, I can just give localhost, or you can give the FQDN or the IP address of the machine. And you can see that it has opened up the Windows PowerShell destination. Okay. Okay, let me give it a try. I'm not sure if I've given some other. Oh, okay. So now you can see that I'm able to log in after giving my credential. So earlier, it is only accepting the NetBIOS, the FQDN or the name by using the computer name / the password. Okay, so now you can see I'm logged into my PowerShell Web Access here, and I can just go and execute any commands now. Okay, and the beauty of this PowerShell Web Access, it provides you IntelliSense here. Okay, you can see that it is giving me options to go and type any command. So I can just go and run some scheduled tasks, or I can just run some specific activities from remotely. I can do all the activities from this PowerShell Web Access. I can also take remote of another machine and so on. Okay, you can see that I'm able to access the PowerShell Web Access and run all the commands and so on. I can also go up and down to check what commands I've used in the past, and all the details are available. I can also exit it here, or I can also save the session. So there are, this is very useful and this is powerful. So quickly I'll summarize. Okay, so there are 3 steps involved. You have to go and install the PowerShell Web Access. The second thing, you have to configure the certificate. It can be a test certificate or it can be an active certificate, but in production environment, the active self-signed certificate is mandatory. And the last option is to authorize a specific group of users or a specific set of computers, or you can also authorize only administrators. So this is very powerful and good to know tool set. Okay, so thank you for listening.